as we are in the election season, or maybe kind of ending the election season and transitioning into a new government. And I'm not, as usual, I am Yaira Awuno. I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing this with my co-host in the person of Miss Miriam Abna Didi, and she's here with me. Good morning.
Good morning, Yaira.
How are we doing?
Well, the feeling is great. Amazing. I mean, since it is an election season, just as you clearly said, and I'm just grateful to God that we've had a successful election so far. I'm so happy about the EC's decision and how she declared the results yesterday and how all the presidential candidates took the results in good faith. I mean, we must commend the EC for her decisive way of declaring the results yesterday. So I mean, in general, I'm just excited to be a Ghanaian now.
That's great to hear. So as you heard, Miriam is happy about how things went, how the EC also declared the results of the elections. And we would like to hear from you. How are you also feeling about the turnout of events and everything going on from your polling stations, all the things trending, all the matters arising? What's happening with you? How are you also feeling? What interesting things do you also have to share? If you have anything to share, any opinions as well, you can send them to our live stream, join in the conversation there, send your comments and everything on our Facebook and on YouTube. Just look for Clog TV. We're also coming to you live from the studios of Clog TV. So you can also join us via our WhatsApp number. And of course, our WhatsApp, aside the WhatsApp numbers also, we have our call number that would also be open. So the phone line will be open for you to call in and then, send us something, tell us what's going on with you. So Miriam, first and foremost, I think we should congratulate our president-elect on his win. A big congratulations from the studios of Clog TV. Maybe on behalf of Clog TV, from us, we say a big congratulations to His Excellency, the President-elect John Dramani Mahama, on his win. This was such a massive win, and
comeback.
And it's pretty historic. It may go down in the history books as one of the massive wins. So yes, a big congratulations to you.
Yaira, this morning when I woke up, I was just praying and I said, God, you see that grace upon His Excellency John
his comeback.
I need that grace.
We tap into it.
He is an anointed leader, let me put it that way, a special leader, specially dedicated to Ghana. And I'm saying this because he has made some historic trends for his elect as a president of this country. I'm talking about the fact that he's going to be the first president to be sworn in for 3 times, as president of Ghana. And he's the only president or the only person who slept and woke up and became president.
He
never imagined, he never thought he was going to be a president. He just slept one day, he woke up and he was president. And something that everyone should tap into. Everyone should pray for that kind of grace, that kind of anointing. I'm not preaching. I'm just
we know you. And on the front of grace, we also want to say a big congratulations to our vice president, the very first female vice president of the Republic of Ghana, vice president elect for now, in the person of Madam Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman. We say congratulations to you. Your becoming the vice president is a big inspiration for all women here in Ghana and even across the world. And we hope that as you have come here, you are being a trailblazer, a trendsetter, and coming to help, empower more women to be able to aim high. Yes, that's the word. Because if a woman can be vice president, of course, presidency is there.
Professor Jane Nana Opoku has been an amazing woman that I personally look up to her, even from my days at the University of Cape Coast. She is the first female vice chancellor of the University of Cape Coast.
So she's just
the first
setting trends. Yes,
and she made a profound statement, I think some days back, where she made mention of the fact that making history is gratifying, but it doesn't only end there.
Yeah.
And if you are able to what matters is not being the first to pass through a door, but being able to hold the door open
for others,
for people to, you know, use the same door. And I must say, she is, you know, a very great woman that a lot of women should look up to for her wins. I won't be surprised if she becomes Ghana's first female president. I will not be surprised at all.
We're looking forward to seeing something like that in the history books. And then, of course, we would like to congratulate all the winners of 2024's general elections, the parliamentary candidates that won, those who retained their seats, and those who have also won seats that they are contesting. And then we would like to commend our current vice president for the way he peacefully and quickly conceded defeat. You know, it's not very likely in, you know, our African setting sometimes. And I think that that action was one of the main things that sort of probably gave us some sort of peace, because if the EC, considering even after conceding, the EC had not come out to declare the results after a while, and already agitations were being, you know, set and everything. So imagine if he hadn't conceded defeat early on, what would have been the state of the nation? And we want to say, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, we are most grateful and we appreciate how you handled the type of events, and we say it is not a loss. You just came in second, and of course we have also, you know, felt your governance. We also love you so much. Thank you so much for contributing to the peace that we experience in the country.
You know, some members of his party in an interaction made mention of the fact that his action was in a way of being a coward. Some people say he was not supposed to, you know, concede defeat that early. But I must say, and also condemn that saying, that what Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia did was a great move that every leader should emulate, because I must say it is not easy to come out to say that I have lost. And so yes, congratulations to this person when you know the work you've put in, even as vice president. So he was, his anticipations from his party and even members of other parties were very high. People had expectations in his win, and unfortunately it didn't go as planned. And so people should stop saying
making such comments.
He did what he was supposed to do as a president,
and he did the right thing. Yes, we commend him greatly for that. So yesterday evening, our president-elect gave a speech, and we would like to have that displayed so we can, you know, view a few excerpts from the speech. If we could have that displayed now. Now, you know, some of the, so we don't have the video ready yet, but some of the candidates that won, apparently, I think even like in the voter region, they said the voter region is green. You know, there are so many constituencies that flipped over to the NDC this year, and it seems as though it was almost as if NDC was sweeping the whole country. Yes, I think NPP won in just about two or three regions. And yes,
and somewhere in there,
and even some parts of Eastern region too. Yes, because, and then also it also said that the gap, the win, it's about 1.5 million, if not 2 million votes, and that may go down in history as one of the biggest, you know, gaps in the elections, even though the voter turnout was also one of the lowest, actually. And it's actually surprising because people didn't come out. There was a lot of campaigning. The way the campaigns were going, you know, a lot of us even didn't think that NDC could win because MPP was all over everywhere, and it was scary. We thought they would break the 8.
The win for NDC, I would say, is divine. Let me put it that way.
You and NDC are divine.
It is divine. I mean, looking at the voter turnout, which was very low, most people who voted for the NDC were NDC members and some members of the New Patriotic Party. They voted for the NDC out of pain, out of anger, out of frustration. When you read comments and you get the views of people, these are some of the concerns that were raised, and as a result of that, it went against their own party. And you have to make sure you get a lot of MPs on your side to make governance very swift. To me, personally, that's how I feel.
But with that, you know, in a democracy, there is the need for two or more opposing sides. Yes, so that there won't be absolute power in the hands of only one. So even though NDC has almost basically two-thirds of parliament, the one-third of parliament that remains in the hands of the MPP needs to, you know, step up their game, else they may be bullied or something. Even though they might become the minority, they may also need to be more assertive in certain things, because they, you know, this saying about majority carries the vote may become, if we don't take care, may become something that could lead to a skewed kind of governance.
But comparing 2020's election to 2024, this results we are seeing today is not very, very surprising, because 4 years ago, 2020, we saw how we had a hung parliament where the both sides were almost the same. It was even the same with one independent candidate who had to join the NPP. So that tells us that people had lost interest in voting for members of parliament for the NPP, and they needed to try the other party. And reasons were given to them to try them in 2024, and that is what we are seeing today.
And then also, it's also a trend that after every 8 years, you are kicked out for someone else to come and try again. But then I also think some of the MPs who lost their seats was also due to certain behaviors they portrayed over the years. And this could, you know, some of these things could actually affect your standing, because I think Ghanaians are also moving from that sycophancy of I was born into this party, so I'm for them regardless of how good or how badly they behave.
Ashanti region gave us the shock at this time around.
Right, you know.
Yesterday, Bantama was I don't know, turned upside down with Soloku. Like, but a whole Ashanti region.
Yes, that should show you that people are starting to wake up. They're starting to make sure that their vote is based on what you have done for them, the bread and butter issues, rather than, yes, my generations were all MPP or NDC, so I support them, I support their rights and their wrongs. And that's really beautiful, because there's a lot of regions are also becoming swing now, at least from what we've seen. And 2028 will also, you know, determine as to whether this is going to become the new trend, or it will switch back to the old form based on the performance of the NDC government this time.
Yesterday, Honorable Oku Jato Ablakwa, Member of Parliament for North Tong, in the Volta region, made a profound statement, and he said he does not really do intensive campaigns during election periods because he knows the work he has put in his constituency. And I was surprised to see some MPs actively sharing, you know, stuff, food items, you know, utensils and other things, cloth, money, when it was just a week
to elections.
What are you trying to tell the people?
And that's the thing. I don't know if politicians haven't noticed the trend that if you work for your people over the years, they tend to remember that rather than that last minute thing. Because I've been hungry for 4 years. Is it your 2 days to election rice and oil that will feed me? No.
I am very happy that Ghanaians have really changed from that attitude. Because previously it wasn't like that. They get the things today and then it influences their vote and then they go in. But now they're realizing that. I remember in 2016, I was at the polling station, a young girl, you know, going to cast my vote, and one gentleman called me oh, Evra, come. And I went, and then he was like, who are you going to vote for? And I said, oh, it's confidential. The man just gave me money that when I go, I should vote for this particular party. I also didn't know. Then I voted.
Didn't know what? You still had a decision to make.
But I mean, I was influenced as at then. I don't know where I was going to get that money from. You get it?
But so even now, still, I think that as much as you may be young or old, it doesn't matter. Look at what the government has done. Look at whether they deserve another term or not. And then you can decide whether you are voting for them or voting them out. It shouldn't be because somebody has given you money.
Yeah. So yesterday, again, you know, elections, everyone is talking. We are discussing. One shocker also was with the Nandom seats, which is predominantly owned or occupied by Honorable Ambrose, was the former Nigeria minister. Seats, and a lot of people were like, oh, a whole Nandom, looking at the sacrifice this man, you know, has put in, making sure that a lot of the youth gets employed into these security services here and there. And someone made statement of the fact that his government is not going to be in power. Even if they elect him as member of parliament, development is going to be slow in that constituency.
But why do we think so?
That was the concern the person. And so it was better they voted for the NDC candidate
who will come and do things,
so that he will use his influence to bring about development. So their concern was all about development, because if they vote for Ambrose,
they may not get the but I think that is not very true, because regardless, even if yes, NDC is the ruling government, MPP MPs are still also in power, a part of the governance. They are all there together making decisions.
We can tell how development is always slow when it comes to the oppositions, like their
but I think it's more of maybe how assertive you are about wanting to do something for your constituency. Because if you decide, okay, it's not my government, so maybe I may not get, you know, it's also about the relationships, you know, fostered among them. If there is apathy among them or between them, both parties in parliament, then, you know, even now that we have a situation where they are just 1/3 of the governance or government in parliament now, that is where if there is apathy there, then now they may be sidelined. But if they are fostering unity, you know, they are gelling well, is cohesive and everything, I don't think there should be a problem with contracts being awarded to members of parliament in the opposition.
I think that is one of the things that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is set to do when he's, you know, officially made president of the country. He said he's going to ensure that there will be a smooth collaborative transition.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, I've also seen certain allegations that this incumbent government seem to have been involved in a lot of friends and family. So that may also influence people thinking that way, because if it is true that this government is full of certain leaders, family members, and you know, all the good things tend to go to them, so it means that those who are not family members and are just part by chance would be sidelined. Then something like this would make that, you know, that assertion true. Yes. And I think there were even images, you know, various, but let's not go into that.
They are not really in a happy mood now. We cannot really digest
we can if we want. Their happy mood has nothing to do with us.
I mean.
So, yes, our Vice President-elect also gave a speech yesterday, just before our very own John Dramani Mahama would also give a speech, and her speech to be displayed shortly.
Yes. Yes. Our mother is here. Give it up to our mother again, Professor Nana Jane Opokwajeman.
What an interesting journey it has been. And you know, nobody sets out on a journey by herself. or even by himself. It has been a very, very interesting one. And I want to thank all of you, those who are here, those who are not here. I want to thank all of them for their good wishes, for their prayers, for their contributions in many, many ways, and for bringing all of us to this site. All I have to say is thank you very much. Thank you very much for everything you have done. And whatever you did, as our chairman has said, the fun is over, the work is about to begin. And as we journey together, we need to realize that we have to move forward also together. Again, I want to thank you. My nomination has many, many implications. You know, normally, no one even expects you to err in any way. If this will happen, and we know it will happen, it means all of us are on board. The victory is for all of us, but especially for our daughters, for our youth, for our women. Sorry I have to appear in a mask because I have a very, very bad cold. But the cold will disappear too. I know this is a big responsibility, and I don't intend to travel this journey by myself. You are all part of it. NDC is an inclusive party, and we are demonstrating it in many ways. My job was to have opened the door. And it doesn't end there. Actually, that is where the work began. I will hold the door open. The method of opening the door, the method of holding the door open, so others wish to travel that door, is what I'm implying. It is not a self-aggrandizing position. It is a position that empowers others. This country is not going to be built only by half the gender. They know very well, whether we are in the public space or not, the roles we play. And we have accepted as NDC to facilitate the process. I'm counting on all of you, that you all come along, you all work hard in your various spaces, and finally, that we put smiles on people who either have no access or who are not very respected. I thank you again and again. And I know, thank you for the comments. I wish blessings on our country. I wish blessings on our children, those who are here and those yet to be born. I wish blessings on those who are here and their future. And I believe that the meaning of blessing is to be good to another person.
Okay, so that was our Vice President-elect in her speech, and Miriam's role model.
Yeah, very, very inspiring. As I said earlier, she is going to hold the door of hope for a lot of people, especially women, who look up to her to, you know, use the same door, just like myself. And someone made a comment at that time that he doesn't know where he was he's a grown-up, like Nana's age mates, and he was like, he doesn't know where he was all the time when Nana was young. He would have, you know, made Nana his wife. I mean, such an intelligent woman over there, and she stands for all women across board. And I'm so happy that she's coming in as at the same time that the affirmative action bill has been passed.
Yeah, this is quite similar to a comment here I was going to read. So, okay, let me get it quickly. So this is from This is Akosia also, yes. She says the NDC's win is indeed a sign for women in general. I'm so proud to be a woman, and the active past is in the right direction.
Exactly. I mean, she came in at the right time, and I know in there she's going to represent all of us. I can't also leave out the fact that we have so many women this time around for standing for members of parliament from other constituencies.
Even though a lot of women actually even lost.
Yeah. Of more women, like the Domikwa Benya seat that was lost by a woman, has also been taken over by a woman. And so I mean, this year's governance, this 4 years, hopes to be very, very interesting moments. I mean, I'm so happy to be a woman right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of women initiatives. Coming in for women to benefit us, because we have been sidelined for a long time, and we have
centuries.
Yes, I'm so grateful that we have a voice in Parliament, we have a voice in the executive level, and even with the judiciary, where we have our Chief Justice. So I'm just hoping that everything will go smoothly, even though it doesn't, sit well with a lot of people.
Well, I saw some comments. I think a lot of people are hoping that with us having a new vice president-elect being a woman, things like the tax on sanitary products would be scrapped, because, I mean, the need for the are not exactly decisions. These are natural things happening, and we have many young girls and ladies all over the country that are it's called period poverty, with regards to our sanitary pads and all those sanitary what's the word, toiletries basically, and a lot of people are unable to afford these things, and considering the fact that there are taxes on them, there are lots of girls out who do not even know how to use these things, who have never even seen them, and having a woman as our vice president, maybe that is going to change, and that's one of the things that a lot of people are hoping for the young ladies.
I'm also, looking out for the Women's Development Bank that was introduced in their manifesto, I think early this year. We are hoping that it is going to benefit our women, especially those into businesses, our traders. Our market women usually do not really have a way of saving their money, and they end up not looking at the end of the day. So this Women's Development Bank, I hope is going to really benefit women in so many ways, diverse ways. I mean, so this government is
there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of responsibility on them. There's a lot of hope for this government.
Talking about responsibilities, I don't know, but I want to use this opportunity to tell most Ghanaians to please exercise some patience.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, because they just
people
expecting them to change the prices from 5 cedis to 2 cedis. Fuel prices should be cut off. Taxes should be taken off. I mean, these are all things that the incumbent government have done, and so it's going to take some time to work on them. So I mean, yes, former president who is now president-elect has been a president before, and so some people are saying they are not going to give him any time to reset things. They want him to start working.
The thing about the prices even is that these people who are calling for price reductions, right? Now, if this government is able to even reduce inflation down to 0%, and they are supposed to reduce the prices of their goods, they will tell you that the prices at which they bought their stock, until they finish selling them at that price to get the profits, they are not going to.
There's no way they're going to finish selling the stock they have.
Please, prices will not reduce. You yourselves will not want to reduce your prices to probably.
We are just hoping that it doesn't, go
it doesn't go up. It should just, inflation should just come down to a level that is manageable, or even to 0%. If we want to be in an idealistic setting, but please, let's have some patience with them, because every time there's a transition, a change of government, there's always this notion that they have left a mess that needs to come and be cleaned up. And I mean, considering the things we've seen, and you know, a lot of scandals here and there, it was not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen overnight. So of course, the other part of this is also the fact that Ghanaians are angry with the MPP government, this incumbent government, and that anger may translate into being harder on this new government. So if a small, okay, not for lack of a better word, a small discrepancy could just cause everybody to be outraged at this president because of what has happened. You know, it's quite like relationships where, you know, you've suffered from something really bad, a new guy comes and then you start to project all those things onto him, you know. So yes, like Miriam said, Ghanaians, we need to be patient with our new government. Not that we are slacking. Of course, we will hold them accountable for anything that happens, but let us be patient and watch them do what they need to do to give us the Ghana that we, what's that term, to a Ghana, a better Ghana we deserve, or a Ghana we want to see. Something like that was their slogan at a point.
And touching on that, a better Ghana that we want, I also want to use this opportunity to talk about the way the NDC supporters are attacking the DC officers.
I was coming to that.
It's so bad that we need to put them in order. Yesterday I saw a post by Malik Basantali, who is the
I think
Deputy Communications Director of the NDC, that something was happening somewhere, and so the youth should, you know, meet him there, coming there. And that post, though it was written, I felt the anger, you know, inciting some kind of, you know, vandalism and those kind of violence. So I mean, we don't need these things now. I would always say that results that have been collated already cannot be changed. So burning the pink sheets, where are you going to get evidence to buttress your point if you have to contend or contest such results?
So it is like, it's multifaceted in a way. Yes, you are mandated to be vigilant, you know, so that your opponents don't try to rig and everything. But then also, you have to draw the line between your vigilance or your love for your party and wanting to do the right thing, and then being overzealous. Because why are you setting a place on fire? Why are you vandalizing the place just because there is a delay? Or why are you, you know, injuring people or shooting people just because you think they are doing something bad? And then there's also the other aspect of it where, you know how when we were talking about even the protest, there may be certain people that may be sent into the protest among them to cause chaos and give the peaceful protesters a bad look. So I also think that there is also that aspect where not necessarily supporters, but some people come there to just come and cause trouble, and then also give the NDC supporters a bad rep. Because I was thinking about it at home, that you know, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has already even conceded. So we know that, look, even regardless, NDC is in power.
What they are fighting for is the numbers in parliament.
I totally understand
and
about
even
the
if
parliament
you have
thing.
150 seats, you are still going to be majority.
Yes.
So
and you know, my problem with them, with the whole scenario, was that, okay, you are aware that, you know, Mahama has won, and then fine, you're fighting for the parliament, and there is, but there should be some sort, not necessarily, I'm not trying to say they should relax, but it was almost as though they were the ones in opposition trying to, but you have heard that your president has won, so yes, be vigilant, but you don't need to cause that much chaos.
So according to them, they think the EC officials are trying to forcefully get some seats for the NPP,
because
so
of how large
they do not really have that 2/3 parliament we are talking about. So they will be somewhere close to the NDC and then bring that majority minority. If not, they are going to term it as majority and observers, because
wow, that's
majority,
funny.
yeah, majority is just taking, I think, 2/3 of parliament, and then we are just taking 1/3. I mean, what are we coming to contribute?
It is no fault of the voters. It is
your fault. You didn't do your work.
It was the handiwork of your own leaders. And you know, something like was it the Domi Kobinya issue, where I think the MPP polling agents could not provide their pink sheets, and it was begging the question that, okay, if the pink sheets the NDC agents have does not tally with what the EC also has, then, you know, the one that should decide the what's the word? Is it the tiebreaker should have been the MPP's the pink sheets, but they did not have theirs to provide. And what was the reason?
And where did it pass?
Where did it pass?
And so the EC officials should be held responsible.
But then also students had a role to play, because you were the one supposed to submit all of that.
They also have,
you are supposed to have a record. Yes, each of these three, you know, for lack, I mean, the smaller parties were not so involved at this point, but these three parties should each have their pink sheets, so that, you know, you can present them, and where there are, you know, discrepancies, we can try to find.
These were some of the reasons why the results, the 2020 election results that were challenged by former president. Why do I keep saying former president? Okay, president-elect in 2020. These were some of the reasons why they lost, because they couldn't find some of the pink sheets. And so they are really, you know, being vigilant this time around. That is why it is looking as if they are being violent. And
no, there are certain people who are also coming out to be violent.
But their act of being vigilant is being, I don't know, it's going over the board. That's what I want to say. It's going over the board, and if care is not taken, it's going to go out of hands. Because Ablekuma Central, for instance, I even heard the member of parliament elect, who is Sadiq
Abu Sadiq.
Yeah, was it? No, something. Okay, well, I would have to look for the name. But
wasn't he the one in opposition?
Baba Sadiq.
Yeah, Baba instead of Abu. Sorry.
Yeah. He ended up even crying because the chaos was too much for him, and you know, things were destroyed over there. It was
the looting.
It was so bad. It was so bad. I mean, just allow people to do their job. And I was so happy when the EC chair came out to, you know, address the media when they were pressures here and there that she was supposed to come out with a result. She came out to tell people to give them some time, because they are collating the results. It is mathematics, not visual arts. So it has to do with numbers. They need to take their time and, you know, add the numbers up. And some constituencies were delayed. Even as at now, we still have some pending constituencies that have not submitted their results.
We were told that the military would only be on standby, you know, to be on call for any chaos that may ensue. But then there were some videos I watched that, you know, there were some military men around, and there were comments on the videos that these are not real military men, these are people in costumes. So I think that is also one thing that needs to be checked, because how then do we, because I think they didn't even have the name tags and, you know, the very small details that show you that, okay, this is a military man. All those things were also problems, because, and they were also, you know, and they didn't even command any kind of authority that, you see how when you get to Burma camp area, you start to comport yourself, even though you may be innocent of it, you just make sure you just pass through. Here in that video, you know, it was almost as though he was just a normal person in a uniform. And some people were saying it was just a costume. Of
course, that should even tell us they were not real military men, because the Ghana Armed Forces press statement that they were not going to give out their men as, you know, security personnel for the election. Only when the Ghana police requests for them to come and, you know, make sure order is being set at places. And so anywhere we found military men not really settling disputes and other things, then they were not true military men, and so they need to really be arrested immediately.
So yes, about Baba Sadiq, it's Okaikwe Central. It was not Ablekuma. Yes, so we're sorry for that.
We are not misinforming you, though.
The constituencies are so many now.
To get it.
Yeah, 275. So now, even with the issue of the vandalism again, people were looting. I think this morning we were told about a clinic that was burned down somewhere at La Paz, just because it was put up by the NDC. But at the end of the day, was this clinic not serving NDC, MPP, PNC, Cheddar, Movement for Like, was it not serving everybody?
Yeah, you're right.
So what is the motivation behind such acts?
I don't know. These people you are fighting for, by now, they've taken breakfast and they are relaxing.
You are looking for Kivu to go and drink and start your day. And
it's so funny.
I think also these politicians, they know that these people, you give them something small, they are willing to do that because it is going to serve as their daily bread. But I also want people to also wise up a little that is my life worth that 200 CDs have been given to go and shake up the place?
Yeah.
Is it worth losing my arm? Is it worth, you know, getting injured? Why then do I need to do much? What favor am I looking for? Because, I mean, this has gone on for years. After giving you that money and inciting or, you know, instigating all those things that, okay, go and do this, when I'll help you, I'll do this. More often than not, after they say after election, no campaign.
Exactly.
After all of that, what they seek you out and, you know, congratulate you for
Finding them will be difficult. After they, you're not going to see them anywhere again.
And I think I even saw a video where somebody was complaining that the MPP had not paid their polling agents and things like that. So it's even starting, you know. So why would you want to risk your life for people who, they are just in opposition, but most of them are friends and even related one way or another?
I don't even understand people. I don't. And
some too will say is the love for the party, but
do you love the party more than the MP?
do you even, so you love the party more than your family? Because I don't think you will do this, you go this far for your family even.
The facts remains the NDC come May what are going to be the super majority in Parliament, and so fighting for them, you know, destroying, it is not going to end anyway, because they are going to, even with what we have now, the I think 171 seats.
Yeah, for now.
Yes, 175 seats, I beg your pardon. NDC makes them super majority in Parliament, and so let's stop the fight. Yesterday, something was happening in Ablinkuma North, where we saw some George and some other NDC members of Parliament challenging the results over there. And they said they were going to continue today because they couldn't finish. The polling stations are so many, I think 281 polling stations, and they couldn't count or cross-check the pink sheets for all the polling stations, and so they did about 210, and so they are going to continue with the remaining polling stations today to see who wins that seat as well. Very tensious constituency.
Even with this whole pink sheet matter, I think I even saw someone also online talking about the fact that with all this, our digitization and apps and, you know, devices being used, how come our electoral process has not taken that, you know, path? Because why papers, all these why don't we have a, I don't know, something that we can just scan, you know,
someone
all
was
these.
even asking, why can't we vote from our homes?
No, please, no, please. Let's come in now. Because by the time your vote gets there, it could have
been changed.
Not even, I don't want to say duplicate, tenplicated, you know, before it gets there. So your vote will become votes. That is something that Africans are likely to do. But for now, I mean, if we had a device that could scan all the votes or everything and just send it directly to the EC, so we don't have to do all this pink sheets matter, like I don't know whether it's a device or an application software that can tally all this information, and then, you know, the codes used to write it would not be that hackable that somebody can easily bypass certain things. It would help. But so how many days still fighting over who won and whose pink sheets is where, who doesn't have their pink sheets? Why do we have
supporters of the NDC? Please relax for the party.
And then those of you who go under the guise of being supporters of the NDC just to cause chaos, we are aware of your existence as well.
You've been trying so hard, but, you know, God keeps, you know, this election, I always say it's a divine election. There's nothing the enemy can do about it. And so please, let me take them there.
Yes, please, take them there.
It's been something on my heart. I mean, there's nothing you can do to change the results. Just as you can see, the WhatsApp number, the call number is displayed on the screen. So you can call and tell us what is happening at your constituencies as well. Now, Yariwa, talking about violence, I was so happy when I saw the Vice President, Mahmoud Baumia, come out to call on the president-elect to put his men in order. I don't know, but Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia had my respect, but he has had it in folds.
It has increased.
It has increased. I mean, this man loves peace. You can tell he loves peace. He's always coming. He's always being proactive.
Yeah, taking
the first step, not waiting for things to escalate. He just comes out to make sure that everything goes well. And I mean,
it's commendable. Yes, it's true. And you know, speaking about that too, we have a congratulatory message by the incumbent president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He put a post on X congratulating John Dramani Mahama. So can we have that displayed? So it says, earlier this evening, I called President-elect J.D. Mahama at J.D. Mahama to congratulate him on his decisive victory in the just ended presidential election. I also congratulated the EC Ghana official and the Ghanaian people for a successful election that reflects the enduring strength of Ghana's democracy. In the spirit of collaboration, I invited the president-elect for a meeting on Wednesday at Jubilee House to initiate the transition process. May God continue to bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. So that was by our President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to our president-elect John Dramani Mahama. So yes, we also have Cheddar also congratulating John Mahama on his win, and it says here, so the independent presidential candidate, that is Nana Kwame Bediako, has congratulated John Dramani Mahama on his election victory and pledged his support to the new government. And in a press conference, Bediako acknowledged facing Ghana and expressed willingness to contribute to nation building. He also thanked his supporters for their backing during the election. You know, he actually performed better than Alan, which came to me as a surprise.
Well, I was not surprised at all. I was not, because Cheddar really put in the work. He did so well with his campaigning. We all saw what he did. No, he did so well, and his contribution to the people who were affected by the dam.
The dam spillage. Yeah,
exactly. He did so well by supporting them, and so I was even expecting more for Cheddar. He did so well. And we saw how the president-elect clapped when his name was mentioned. I mean, 84,000. It's no joke. Well. So some people have also suggested that instead of he running as an independent or on his own, he should rather join a political party, one of these major political parties, and start from being an MP and then
make his way. But by the time he become a president, he wouldn't be young enough. He would now become, because I think we're also trying to break that trend of having the aged people as our leaders, because in a service you retire at 60, but we are having people older than 60 leading us, and there's a reason for retiring at 60, because your mental faculties, even your health, may start to deteriorate. And so if he's to considering the way Ghana is and bad behaviors, he would probably be about
but I won't 50. Be surprised. I'm just saying this, that if this government, the new government that is coming, the NDC, does not perform to the expectations of people, let me tell you that we're fed up with the two parties, and Cheddar will be the next in line. This is like something that is there. Ghanaians are fed up with the NPP. We will not go back to the NPP. If NDC does not perform as expected, trust me, Cheddar will be the next option.
Well, I mean, I think I disagree, but then also anything is possible considering what we've seen so far.
This is Cheddar's first time contesting, and look at the votes he was able to garner
so
for himself.
I understand why he also got votes, because people were voting. They are tired of those two, so why not vote for somebody else?
Own, I don't want to mention his name, but he works with us. He was just a dying fan of Cheddar. He just loved Cheddar. If you ask him of any of Cheddar's policies, he would not be able to mention one, but he just loved him. And so that was why he voted for him.
It's a lot of things that can contribute. I'm sure he can make, if he keeps it up, he will make the name and the rest. But then also, right now he has the numbers with a certain faction of the society, but when it comes to the education and then the elite, when we start to dissect his policies, that is where questions will start to arise, because him saying he will bring the sea to Kumasi, I mean, it may sound, I mean, Gaddafi did something similar, you know, getting the water from, I think, the sea all the way into the desert, into Libya, all of that. It was possible, cost about $1 trillion, something. I remember that story very vaguely. But yes, it is possible though, but feasibility. These are all things that when he starts to make the name or get that popularity with academia and even the political elite, then that is where, you know, he would have to justify his inclusion.
Sure.
And like you were saying, somebody doesn't even know his policies but just likes him. The people who want to vote based on policies now, policies are not going to be workable.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that, you know, draws my attention to 2020's election, where the data that was collected from the kind of people that voted for the NDC indicated that most of them were the elite, the, you know, literate, those that understood the policies of the NDC. They voted for the NDC. And that is the same thing that happened this year. I know most of them voted for him.
Yeah.
So what you are saying means that Cheddar will clearly have to possibly join the NDC if he wants his policy to be understood better than, you know, just, you know, running as a candidate on his own.
Yeah, because I remember something about an interview like this where he was even being asked about his educational background. And because I don't remember it very well, it was about whether he needed to even have a degree to be a president and things like that, talking about the fact that education is not the only way to make it in life and things like that. But then also there are certain rules and systems that we need to follow in the end. So all of these things may come to play a role either for or against him. So he may get the numbers, but he may have to actually sit up and do a lot of homework.
And he shouldn't think of working alone. I don't know, but I sense this kind of independent individual.
But he has 6 others.
We never saw the
6 marks. He had some big 6 with him.
We never saw them. I mean, he should make himself dependable. Like, he should let people understand that he cannot do this alone, and that will also draw a lot of people to him. But if he appears to be, I can do this alone, I can do this alone, trust me, it is really going to derail his progress.
So about Alan Chairman, do you think it is the tag of MPP that remained on him, making it, you know, making his performance in the elections quite lower than Cheddar, or it was just the fact that he's an independent candidate?
What Alan had, I would say, was also something that influenced the votes of the NPP, because most of them voted for Alan, and Alan was nowhere near winning. Even if there was no Cheddar, Alan, or even if there was no NDC and it was between MPP and Alan, MPP would have still won, because people love the party, not the individual, not the actual candidates. There are some people that were born naturally into the party. NPP. I am an MPP supporter. Whether it is a goat that is standing, whether it is,
there are some people like
just
that
going to vote for the elephant. So I mean, Alan, I would say, had his own people who cheered him on, loved him, and they were the ones that voted for him, and some other people who were indecisive as to where to vote. But if he had not left the NPP, maybe,
if he looking was at the gap,
looking at the gap, maybe it would have been a tie, or NPP would have won the election some way, somehow. Because even from the regional collation, we can say that it was just 2 regions that sum up to give NPP the 41%, 41.61%. But the rest of the regions gave the NDC 50%. So look at the gap. Just 2 regions.
2 regions. I mean, those are more
the NPP 1 point. So
places.
I mean, NPP, they had it. It's just that people were fed up. People were
a lot
angry.
of people were tired.
And also touching on this, let me go to Dome Kwabenya. the result from Dr. Kwabena was also not too surprising, because looking at how people were fed up with Adjo Asafo, they were complaining that she was not even doing anything in there.
Yeah, she even left the country for a while.
Exactly, and we had someone replacing her, who was also an MPP candidate for the parliamentary.
That's Michael Quay Jr.
Exactly. But looking at the gap between what Mark had and what the lady Akrugu also had, you can see that the gap was not too much. People still voted for NPP.
Yeah.
People vote that you know, goes back to buttress my point that people love the party, not the candidates on you know, that ticket. And so I think if Adjo Asafo had also supported Mark Okoye with some campaigning, because apparently she never campaigned for Mark Okoye, she never did anything to support his campaigning or anything. Adjo Asafo's father has a church there, and most of the followers of his church are the NPP supporters. And so maybe a little campaigning would have brought a lot of support to Mark Okoye, which has... Because NPP, Dome Kwabena is also one of the strongholds.
One of the strongholds.
And it's one of the biggest constituencies in the
country.
So, I mean, just...
But, you know, when Alan was also condemning this current government, saying that they would lose the elections and things, people were also saying, you have been a part of this government. You also have a hand in all the wrongs they've done. So you can't leave and then make it look like you're isolating yourself from the issue. So I also believe that also played a role in, because I think if he had maybe taken some time off, you know, got laid low a bit and maybe started his campaign next, you know, election year, maybe people would have isolated his association with MPP from him. So the conversation is ongoing here. We would like to hear from you. What are your events happening around the elections? What are your thoughts on the outcomes, especially even in your constituencies? Who did you vote for, or why did you vote? What do you think about the flips? Who maintained their seats? Who lost their seats? Share that with us. You can call our phone line that's opened. You can also send us a text on WhatsApp, or you can join our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube. This is Poll Watch, and we will be right back.
welcome you back to Poll Watch. Earlier, you witnessed our two hosts in the persons of Yaira Awuno and Miriam Adede doing the icebreaker on Poll Watch this morning. And I have with me some honored personalities who would be helping me to steer the affairs of this particular segment. I have with me here Randolph Efrifawari to my left, and to my right I have Clever Clement here with me. Hi guys.
Hi.
How are you doing this morning?
Very well, thank you.
We said something back there. I wanted to repeat that, but for the sake of our viewers, I'll retrieve that and keep that. So we want to take quickly the speech and the declaration from the EC yesterday, and after come back to our conversation. Please stay. All right, so let's quickly discuss that, and we'll bring you that highlights quickly later within the show. So yesterday, within 48 hours, the Electoral Commission declared the results of the polls, and that was tremendous of them because they promised us a 72 hours declaration, but they did that earlier. And I think that's a yeoman's job they did in there. Let's quickly watch the video. When we come back, we have this discussion.
Mahamadou Bawumia of the NPP obtained 4,657,304, being 41.61%. Daniel Augustus Latte Jr. of the GCPP obtained 16,053, being 0.15%. Christian Kwabena Andrews of the Ghana Union Movement obtained 16,461, being 0.15%. Kofi Apalu of the LPG obtained 5,219, being 0.09%. Mohamed Frimpong of the National Democratic Party obtained 4,413, being 0.04%. Nana Akosua Frimpong of the CPP obtained 23,000. Mahamadou Bawumia of the NPP obtained 4,657,304, being 41.61%. Daniel Augustus Latte Jr. of the GCPP obtained 16,000.
Witnessed yesterday by the Electoral Commission, Jin Mensa, and clearly the leader was won even before this particular speech. Yeah. What do you have to say about the timeliness of the EC's declaration? I'll go with you first.
All right, so good morning to our viewers, and it's been a wonderful journey as Clock TV this being our first, our maiden election coverage. It's been a lot of lessons, and I've enjoyed it as well. Now, going into the matter we are just bringing on board in terms of the declaration. I mean, the EC, I have said, some people have asked that do I work for them? But then one thing is, if state institutions are working, we must commend them and encourage them. They are humans, yes, there may be hitches, but so far as they do something good, we must still let them know that we must talk about it. And equally, if they do bad, we must be able to equally mention or call them out. Regarding this year's elections, and just as you were saying, their declaration, their timeliness, I mean, they have been very well in terms of back-to-back information they're giving us. I mean, informing the public about the happenings. It actually, I mean, brought down so much tension. Equally, they did not keep us so much in suspense compared to our previous elections, where sometimes, I mean, there's no concession, there's no, I mean, there's so much tension. And here, even though they delayed within that, I mean, we see it as a delay because there was a concession. And so it made, I mean, that it brought that gap. But then apart from that, their timeliness and then the information flow they have been up to, and that is very good for our democracy. It brought about transparency, where you can see that even the consistent way of addressing the public, all the political parties were involved, all their press conferences, and then they also bringing out, I mean, people were saying they were delaying a bit because of, but then they made us know that it deals with numbers, and you cannot, I mean, just bring out just anything. And irrespective of it, too, it deals with law. The law has given it them a time frame to be able to. So if you are in a hurry to declare, whereas there are some legal issues that arises, it's going to affect the institution and their credibility. And so, for as a country, how far we have come, and they being able to come up, I think it's wonderful, and we must commend them. Irrespective of it, there are certain few challenges, of course, they face as a human institution. I believe our next election, a lot to be dealt with, and then we move ahead as a country.
All right, that's fine. There were 267 constituencies
Yes.
that she declared on, but she indicated that no matter the addition of this other 9 constituencies, which results weren't ready by then, when they added, no matter what, the result is so clear, and everybody can see that our president-elect, President Mahama, is the leading president of the Republic of Ghana. And I want to ask your take on the EC's performance on this election.
Okay, B, thank you very much, and good morning to viewers. As my brother said, you've given them up-to-date information on the election happenings. And I would say, from the aspect of timeliness, EC has done well, but they could have done more better, because there have been a lot of chaotic scenes in the various constituencies and the regional levels, of which EC could have resolved this issue down to an extent where we realized Damango electoral office was set on fire. Other constituencies, electoral offices has been destroyed. When you go to other, the storeroom was set on fire, was locked up by youths who are so much wanting change, who believe that they voted, and per their own collation, the results are clear. So the question they were asking themselves was, what is preventing the EC to declare some constituencies candidates as the winner and some others as the losers? Because as my brother said, the flag bearer of NPP came out very early on Sunday, around even before 9. And he said, per their collation, in their collation center, their strong room, they've realized that NDC has won. They will not just come out, NDC has won, without knowing the various constituencies. Meaning that they know, in constituency level, they know who won constituency, who won regional, before they came out to say all these things. So even if a political party has been able to come out to give such information, EC is, EC is the referee, and he or she has the authority to do more than even what a political party has done. So I was expecting EC to handle their various constituencies more better. Look at Dome Kwabenya. It's so terrible. Look at what happened at Ewutu Senya East. It takes the NDC parliamentary candidate to come out in their numbers to agitate for quite a long before the EC can come out to declare the winner of the parliamentary seat. Let's take a look at the Okankwe Central seat, for example, where Patrick Buama and Baba Sadiq. It took the intervention of Sam George, it took the intervention of Sam Otokono at the Regional Coalition Center to calm down nerves. because the youth were so agitated. So yes, EC has done well. He gave Ghanaians 72 hours. And within 48 hours, they've been able to declare the result. That's a wonderful, but they could have done more better. And the issue of the 9 constituencies they mentioned, Utu Senya, Suhum, Insawoma, Dredri, Techiman South, Dome Kwabenya, Ablekuma North, Ahafo North, Damango. He said all these constituencies' presidential results is not out, but I believe the parliamentary are already out. So the question is, what is really happening over there? And EC attributed it to the sake of the happenings there, where some youths have set other places on fire. That is why they are not getting all this. But I believe that even if they are not getting this data per the pink sheet, they have a digital ways, because EC made us understand that they are and manual. So if manual you needed, complete your collation, you have. So we can use 2 angles to set the ball rolling. But I would also say that EC has done well in terms of timeliness, but they can do more better. In 2028, we are hoping that EC would work more efficiently for the country to remain. But I would say God bless Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for doing that historic thing that has never happened before. Yes.
All right. So remember, you can also join us on our conversations by sending your comments and your messages. For now, our phone lines are opened and the numbers are displayed on your screen. Just dial and share your comments about 2024 elections, the happenings, what is happening in your community currently, and what you think about the current president. So we continue our conversation. Before we do any other thing, I want us to call for the speech of the president-elect, President John Dramani Mahama. Let's watch this.
Thank you. Our best days are ahead of us. My brothers and sisters, a while ago, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, Madame Jean Mensah, declared me the winner of the 2024 presidential election. I give thanks and praise to the Almighty God, because this successful outcome can only be the doing of the Lord. I'd like to thank the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, for his statesmanship in conceding the election long before the declaration of the results by the Electoral Commission. This concession largely diffused the tensions that are characteristic of high-stakes elections such as this. I also just received a call from His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He graciously extended his congratulations to me, and we had the opportunity to discuss matters related to the joint transitional team. We agreed on an early inauguration of the joint transitional team as early as Wednesday, the 11th of December. I conveyed my sincerest regards to him and expressed my readiness for us to work together to ensure a smooth transition in the best interest of the Ghanaian people. The results of this election, as declared today by the Electoral Commissioner, show that the National Democratic Congress, with me, John Dramani Mahama as leader, has just chalked one of the most emphatic victories in the electoral history of the Fourth Republic. We have therefore been bestowed with a very outstanding mandate by the good people of Ghana. I'm deeply honored and humbled to receive such an overwhelming endorsement from the Ghanaian people. And I wish to thank all who made this possible, by going out to vote for me. I thank all Ghanaians, both at home and abroad, for your continued belief in our democracy, despite the severe crisis our nation is going through. I also congratulate our parliamentary candidates who have also swept the electoral landscape with a very resounding victory. I have a legion of thanks to give for this emphatic electoral success. And let me begin again by thanking the Almighty God, the creator of heaven and earth, for protecting and preserving us through this whole campaign period. And to paraphrase the psalmist, I also give thanks to God for preparing a table before me obviously, you are all very acquainted with this Bible verse. I also give thanks to God for preparing a table before me in the presence of my enemies. And for anointing my head with oil. And making my cup run over. I next have to give my...
So that was the acceptance speech from President-elect John Dramani Mahama. There were so many highlights in that speech. He went ahead and thanked almost people he know contributed to his success, and even mentioned people he think never voted for him. So that was a great speech. I felt the emotions in there. I felt the zeal to do a work for Ghana. And I think he is tasked to do something good for Ghana, and it reflects in the speech he gave in there. What do you have to say? What do you pick from what he said?
Well, so with regards to President Mahama's comeback, there's a high stake, which he actually, let me say, acknowledged it. And of course, as normal as every Ghanaian would want to, as well as show interest, or let me say, appreciate people who actually helped him with his comeback. It is a comeback that, in fact, he worked for it some years back. I quite remember in 2016 when he lost. He wished, I believe, at that time, you could see he had something he wanted to do, and he couldn't finish. And so at the end of the day, when he left, he has to struggle and come back. And you could see it wasn't easy for him, and so the emotions are well understood. Secondly, the other aspect also, he made mention of so many things in terms of people's expectations of him. Of course, it is very high. And he acknowledged the vice president also for his earlier concession, which is very good for our democracy. In fact, he actually called the vice president a statesman. I mean, that he acknowledged him as a statesman for making that possible. And this equally shows that, yes, we are actually growing so much as a democracy or as a country. And with regards to that, President Mahama, the president-elect, John Mahama, coming back, it also entails a lot. It's not on a silver platter. So this is the time for him to, go all out. And he has a lot of stakes at, very high stake. And beyond that too, in fact, he has just 4 years to make or rewrite a history or a legacy, or blame himself for whatever that will happen to him after his tenure. So for me, I believe he gave a very good speech. I mean, he is very known to be a very good communicator. And so I wasn't surprised with whatever he gave out.
So there has been major flaws of Mahama when it comes to his previous government. And I know he surrounded himself with people who weren't needed or who weren't good enough to help him with his administrative job. And therefore, I know he has learned his lessons and reflected on what exactly he's coming to do and the people that are supposed to surround him to do a good job, because he has just one term to work and Ghanaians are looking up to him like a god up there, and I believe he can do it. I believe we felt the humility and the zeal to work, so he can do what he has promised. But what do you think of his speech and some of the things he promised during?
Okay, B, thank you once again. Yesterday, I must say the president-elect did a good job. He did a good job because he touched on every corner that he needed to touch. And I'm proud to his speech of NDC spoke. I picked something from each of them. And Johnson Asedium Katia, as we know, General Mosquito said that Ghanaians have given us the task to accomplish the restructuring of the nation. He didn't say Ghanaians has given us the task to start the reconstruction, but he said Ghanaians has given us the task to accomplish.
Okay.
So meaning that they are not, it means that the current government of NDC is not yet to start, but they are here to accomplish a done deal for them.
Right.
So he established the fact that, yes, they themselves accept that there's a workload on them.
Okay.
Prof. Nana also came to the scene. She also established the fact that, yes, there is a workload on them. They analyze all these things. And Prof. Nana, one thing I picked from Prof. Nana's speech before I come to President-elect is that he said, my job was to open the door. And she said, I'm not done opening the door, but I'll hold the door for anybody else who wants to, yes, to pass through. Okay. So looking at the speech from chairman and from Vice President-elect, it could say that they know the task ahead of them. They really understand the duty Ghanaians has laid on their heart or upon their head. So they are really in for the job. And I would also say that when our president-elect was also making his speech, he also said the same thing, that he understands the workload has put before them. And they are in to make sure that everything Ghanaians has entrusted onto them, they are going to deliver. You made mention of the fact that in his previous administration, probably he didn't surround himself with quite a good number of people. Yes, and I believe that when particular place, one way or the other, you flop. When you come back, you learn a lot of lessons. And when you are coming, you come in as an experienced person. You come in as a person with so much experience to deliver. He says something. He said that Ghanaians have little tolerance for bad governance. Exactly. This is one thing I picked. Ghanaians have little tolerance for bad governance. And it's very true. Because when you look at the governance of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, you could say even their stronghold, Ashanti region, over 3 million people, about 2 million came out to vote. So the question is, what's about the 1 million people? Meaning that Ashanti region lost that vein for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government because they were speaking a lot and he never listened to them. You see, the issue here, let me dive a little bit. The issue here, when you see what happened in Ashanti region as the loss to NPP, is because Akufo-Addo was able to commission the interchange in Accra. But Swami, interchange has not been completed. It started in the era of President Kufuor. When you go to Kumasi, we have the Sofoline interchange. Where Kumasi is where I schooled. We have the Sofoline interchange. It was not completed. But President Akufo-Addo was commissioning roads, commissioning interchange in Accra and other parts. So
are
indirectly,
you saying these are bad governance?
No, I'm saying that this issue actually is part of the reason why Ashanti really didn't vote, didn't turn out. So in terms of bad governance, I would say that there was a lot President Akufo-Addo should have done earlier, but he didn't do. He should have listened to Ghanaians when they started crying. Like all these things wouldn't have happened. Because as President said, in history of Ghana, this is the election that a president has won with the overwhelming majority. The highest was, I think, then President Kufuor and Jerry John Rawlings in 1992, and President Kufuor also. But this time around, he won with 56.55%.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Aside the 9 constituencies which are not out. So assuming the 9 constituency is add up, he might claim
in favor
of him, he might claim more than 58, which is the historic in all. So let me just quickly touch on what I just wanted to say. You see, President-elect has established the fact that he said the mandate also serve as a constant reminder of what fate awaits us if we fail the aspiration of the people and we govern with arrogance. So he has established the fact that they know that there's a tax ahead of us. So if they fail Ghanaians and they govern with arrogance, I know he made this statement because of what we have seen over the years. So he has a fact that in his government or whoever is coming to help him govern Ghana, if you come in and you come with arrogance, he will just take you off the scene. Because he's not ready to fail. He has promised a lot and he's not ready to fail. He also said, reset of the relationship between citizens and elected officials. He has also seen that over the years, whenever someone is elected as an official or elected into office, there is a distance between the person and the electorate. So people don't even know what the MP or the minister is really doing. We have someone like, when you go to Takrady, a minister who's supposed to be in a constituency is always found in Accra doing A, B, C, D, F. Until election day or election period, you never see a minister, you never see a member of parliament. So he is saying that coming to power, all these things need to stop. He also mentioned the fact that elected officials must not forget that the people of Ghana have chosen them to represent their best wishes.
Okay.
So as I said, he has been there before, and he knows what entails there. So he coming out things like this should let people, or should let the people he's going to work with understand that you are not coming in to serve your personal interests. So it is a strong warning to whoever President Mahama would elect or would appoint to be a minister. You are not there to serve yourself, neither are you there to serve your family, but you are there to serve the good people of Ghana. Because when you look at the fall, or what now we call the tsunami in this election, the fall of the key ministers, you could see that if they had been with their electorate, if they had seen that you are not representing your political party, you are not representing your family, you are not representing your self-interest, but you are representing the good people of Ghana, all these things wouldn't have happened. All these things wouldn't have happened. So I thank God that Mahama has established the fact. But yes, speech, we want to see it also in action. He also said something. He said that important governance reforms. He has established the fact that there's going to be a government reform as soon as possible. And one thing I don't want to take out, when he's addressing the people of Ghana, we know our current president, will address the people of Ghana as fellow our president who is gone, Prof. Atamels, will address Ghana as Minion. Now he addressed Ghana as my brothers and sisters. And I see the level, or I can say that he has learned from his master, the one he served under. That is Prof. Mills. Prof. Mills addressed Ghana as Minion. Minion just simply means my brothers and sisters.
So you are saying the salutations matter?
Yes. So he has established the fact that he served under someone. So he needs to work in line with that very person's ambition. Yes, so that is one aspect. I'm not saying just the salutation, but I'm looking at the implication of his serving under a leader and recognizing who the leader was and picking something from that very leader. And before I just end up everything, he says something about his 24 hours economy. And he said they are in to create sustainable and well-paying job through the 24 hours initiative. They are in to create and well-paying job through the 24 hours initiative. So as they have promised that even within 120 days in office, they are going to make sure that all the documentation of 24 hours would be done. Yes, Ghanaians are really watching, and we would follow keenly to make sure that everything the president-elect said or promised the people of Ghana, he has delivered it. And I was so glad he touched on conditions of service for workers. He really touched on that, and I was so glad because the condition of service for workers in Ghana is so terrible. and organized labor unions have always been talking about it day in and day out, payment and everything. But the president established the fact that he's going to do something marvelous about it. So I would say that the NDC should see this as not just a victory, but it should see this that this is a call to duty. And the last thing I would also like to say is the fact that Ghanaians have taxed parliament in so many ways. We got a parliament where a president had a majority. The 8th parliament had hung parliament. And now the current parliament we are going to see is going to be the overwhelming majority. That is 2/3. So the president-elect is going to have the supreme, he's going to be the supreme president. Anything he wishes to pass, it can easily go through. Ghanaians have given NDC this power, not for the sake of their basic or their selfish gains, but for the sake of the good people of Ghana.
But when you say anything they want to pass, because the NPP who will be in opposition, no matter what, they can't say they are against it because they are in opposition. And the NDC, which is the majority to come, cannot say we are supporting this government because they are NDC people. We should note that, because we are serving the interest of the people, and therefore whatever the people want is what we have to go with. We can't say because we are following NDC or we are majority, we are going with this. No matter whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, you will buy into that.
That's very true. So that's the reason why I established the fact that NDC should come to understand that we've given them this power, not for them to emulate, or not for them to accumulate, the word accumulate wealth for themselves, not for them to take over state properties, but also I would say the president, our current president,
he knows where to get the money from.
He makes us understand that we are also yet Sikaso. Now, so then accommodate. That's then president, our president, current president, and now Danko Akufo-Addo, when he was coming to power. Also yet Sikaso accommodate. Still not accommodate.
So the money is there.
The money is there
for the current or elected president.
The money is there, but it was not used for what it was used for. The last time we talked about scale of preference and priority, but it was not used for that. If the money has been used for what it's supposed to be used for, like, we will not be in this kind of situation we find ourselves.
I'll come to the money aspect of it, but I feel this particular government is burdened.
Yes.
They have a huge task and burden on them. One, we talk about trust. Already the people are lacking trust, or they don't even have trust in the government, but they've decided to vote for a change. And therefore, they should. There was a report by CDD. They said that when the people lack trust, they tend to trust the military rule more. So this is a time where we have to install back the trust in the people. And it's a one term, as I said earlier, and therefore there's a lot to do. That's why I said he is burdened. Sure. The money, we know we are in debt. We know IMF is on our necks. We know we have issues of galamsey. We have issues of the youth seeking for employment, but there are policies, and the government is promising us some of these things to better the lives of a common Ghanaians. The money is not there. Because when you look at the things he said he'll be doing, e-levy, which is supposed to be a revenue mobilization thing, he is scrapping.
Yes.
When you
that,
the 10% task on beds, he wants to scrap that. So where is the money coming from? Do you think it is possible to rule this government with nothing, almost nothing?
Truly possible.
It is possible.
Truly.
We are borrowing the words.
Yes, we are borrowing the words. And truly, it is possible. What I would say is, before President Mahama left power, debt to the GDP ratio was 72.6%. Budget deficit in 2016, before he exited, was 9%. We had a foreign reserve as a country of 2.5 months, let me say 2.5 months. Import cover was 3 months, yeah, three months. Or let me say import was yes, okay, so let me say import cover at that time was 2.5 months, and then GDP growth was, before he was leaving power, was 3.3%. Currently, this government, by November 2024, the current NPP government debt to GDP ratio stands at 4.6%. Foreign reserve stands at 3.5 months. And import cover, that's the GDP growth, is projected to 6% by close of December. And budget deficit equally also fixing there. This shows that with regards to, you cannot, in as much as there was some in the current government, we cannot actually, we cannot actually play down efforts and things they have been able to do. Government is continuation.
Okay.
And per the Bank of Ghana reports, as of last month, November, it shows clearly that when it comes to the economic management, the government have done something, or has done very well. The challenge that was so glaring in what transpired with regards to the election, you could see clearly as a leadership challenge, where people spoke and the president didn't listen. And so it brought about the aspect of apathy, where people felt like, I mean, when something is not right and then talk about it, you don't listen. But then when it comes to performance and statistics we have, both infrastructure, humanitarian projects and all that, we cannot, as a matter of fact, rubbish everything. The government currently has done something. Looking at the figures. Now, what lies ahead of us? President Mahama has been given another time to rewrite history or his legacy. President Mahama, at the time of his exit, actually in 2016, had a major challenge. And at that time, he actually lost historically, which came amidst scandals, which came amidst energy crisis, which came amidst so many corruption issues. And so he was voted out. Clearly, you could see that there was some leadership challenge which successive governments have actually faced. That when you are in power, you come differently. I mean, when you are in opposition, you come differently, and when you are in power, you act differently. This should be a lesson that President-elect must learn from. What made him lose that miserably, as in almost 1 million votes, and now he has the chance to rewrite history, unlike President Akufo-Addo, whereas he has lost, or his government has lost, for almost 2 million votes. He has the chance to repair his image as a new president, or as a president-elect. And as he promised, as he was coming, he promised a lean government, which has been a challenge in our history, that other presidents will come will promise lean government, but when they come, there are so many rhetorics.
So you think existing ministers
it
and
is possible,
his government?
It is possible, but then the point I'm making is that prior to his exit, there were so many things that came at him, which contributed to him losing elections. To that margin, Ghanaians amidst his cry or his campaign for a comeback has considered him due to his age and other factors, and some leadership crisis the current government is facing, and are giving him overwhelmed support for a comeback to rewrite his legacy. He has no reason to fail. The reason
earlier I asked you about the money. Do you think he has the...
Yes.
Okay.
The money comes with his policies he is laying down. Okay. He has promised a lean government. That is one. Something most Ghanaians have been hearing. We pray that he doesn't come up with other excuses, because to win power, there are apparatchiks or NDC apparatchiks who would want to leverage his comeback to make their own way back into government for the national game. Whether he will get the money to implement the policies he has outlined is dependent on he bringing up competent people to manage the economy and every aspect of the government. He also have to bring up people who know how to fix things, because he has just 4 years to rewrite his legacy. And then if he comes back with the mantra of ghost, or let me put it this way, of chasing people throughout his tenure for whatsoever, witch hunting, before he realized, because you see, promises that are made on campaign platforms are different from realities. If someone has gone through or has done something wrong, we are living in democracy. The law equally gives him right to the legal system, a lawyer, and it goes through processes for prosecution. But then if he leaves the money to him, chasing people, the truth is that he will end up his 4 years without doing anything.
But do you think he'll do that himself? Because I know he will put people in charge of prosecution who can take on this job.
Of course, there can be so many distractions if you're in government. This government had the same challenge, because at the end of the day, you'll be chasing, and I mean, there are lots of things that happens. But if you are not careful, Attorney General will be burdened by so many things. I'm not saying he shouldn't go for whatever it's due the country, but then if that is what he's to, put his energies in it, it will cost him, and so he should go ahead for it.
But then, we are looking for sources of money, and I think recouping the monies that have been spent
that's what I wanted to
unjudiciously by these people would be a source of revenue, right?
It's going to be a great source of funding for his project.
Let him finish his point quickly.
Yes, so it's actually true that we need money. But then when you come as government, where there is IMF issues pending, you would want to restructure and get things done your way to be able to get some monies. Especially where the challenge is huge. Battled with unemployment, economic potentials, where he said he's in to unlock the economic potentials, which means we all agree to the fact that Ghana has so much economic potential. His focus should not be on IMF or monies he supposedly, or allegedly embezzled with people. There are so many natural resources we have. It is his responsibility to unlock them, to get him the monies. The other aspect also comes with he has so many promises he has given. The Ghanaian population wouldn't mind where you are going to get the money. You said you are bringing us 24-hour economy. That is what the Ghanaian population will be expecting. In your campaign promise, he said he was going to bring us private sector senior high schools being enrolled in senior free SHS. That is what people are actually looking at. The other aspect also, there's a serious economic challenge, as in debt. People are looking up to, how are you going to, restructure the debt management system to be able to get monies for your, government. So what I can say is that Ghana have so much potentials. We have natural resources, of which, based on that, he made his promises. It is his responsibility as a leader to get the money and get the things done, because he knows and he has made all these emphatic that the country is burdened, but then he knows the way to get us there. Government, the population has given him the mandate, and he must deliver this.
So Randolph is making a stance by saying that there are natural resources he can use in supporting the shambled or weakened economy. And do you think we have enough natural resources? If not, where can we get the monies to support the economy?
Okay, B, thank you for this question. We have a lot of source of funding, and as Randolph rightly said, our minerals is a means of funding to this current government. But I would say that Operation Recover or Loot is one of the major means or one of the major source of funding for this project. Because some people in their own way have accumulated so much wealth that you will never understand. So if by so doing he's able to...
Alleged.
Yes, alleged. So if by so doing he's able to recruit all this money could be a source of funding to a particular project. We are in this country where a lot of things have happened over the past and nothing has been done about it. I think we have raised points like witch hunting or something like that. We are in this country where the government did a lot of such instances. And he also talked, let me cite example like the current minority, okay, let me mention his name, Kingsley Atuforsen, that he has had a lot of scandal about ambulance issues, about 2 billion and all this stuff, of which this current government went after him, but at the end of the day, what happened? It came out that nothing was wrong with him. We know about the issue of even the president-elect, as he said, in 2016, there was a lot of issues about scandal, Airbus, and a lot of things around him. Special prosecutor, after his own investigation, came out to say there's nothing wrong with him. That is why Ghanaians have given...
it might be the people around him
might be
and
the
not
people,
him in
exactly.
particular.
So I'm not saying that he should all out for witch hunting or wholesale, but Operation Recover or Loot should be implemented.
I think the witch hunting is good, but if you are politically...
That is the whole game.
Yes.
So he should
everyone, it should be fair.
For everyone, yes. So, Reno, can let me go. Right. So, he should really implement the Operation Recover or Loot, because a lot of money has been mismanaged in this country over the past years. That is one. Mine is the source of funding from the minerals, or what Ghana we have. We know, yes, the natural resources. About a month ago, the issue of Galamsey became a rampant issue to the extent that organized labor need to involve themselves. And the president promised us that he's going to, LI 2462 or something, they are going to make sure that thing is being cancelled until this parliament issue, so there was nothing being done about that. Okay. When you go into this, a lot of this mineral site, a lot of our natural resources has been given people. Okay. So if we don't recover all these assets, how does he get source of funding from these minerals? How does he get source of funding from all these natural resources? So I believe that as the president has come, one thing as the president said, and I really take it, is that he said that anybody who has taken hold of state assets is going to be taken back from them. Okay. This one, I was listening to one media personality, and he made mention of the prisons land, I think around Teshi. There's a prison land around Teshi. And before or after President came to office, he said that land, it's about 4 acres. He's going to use that land as a project site for Agenda 111. But when you go into it, people are trying to use that land for their private gains. So these are the things we expect the president and his people around him to do. Let's recover all state assets. Anybody who has acquired state asset in an illegal means, let's recover it, because that state asset means a lot to us. That is the future. And the last thing is, yes, we have a lot of funding going in for debt, going out to borrow and doing all these things. But the last time I said that the first 1 year in office for President-elect, President John Dramani Mahama, won't be easy because of the current economic situation we face as a country. In terms of inflation, in terms of exchange rate, in terms of debt restructuring that this government introduced, DDEP. And one thing we should understand, this DDEP the government introduced, it doesn't mean that the debt has been cancelled or it has been written off. We are going to pay the debt in some years to come. Look at the issue of the bond even restructuring and where they are supposed to put some banks together. And as at now, after putting these banks together, when you go into records, the amount of money that these banks were actually needing to revamp was even more than what the government used scrapping them off. So people ask the question, at the internet, they needed to revamp. You didn't give it to them, but you used more than that to try to consolidate them to what we have at the CBG Bank and all these agencies. During this, a lot of pensioners have gone into a lot of issues. So we are expecting this current government to investigate in all these matters. Because you go to parliament and budget has been passed, that the money has been paid, but those on grounds have not received the money. For the issue of, for example, Gold Coast issue, a lot of people have lost their life. I have covered a story on Gold Coast at the finance ministry severally. And when people come there, they'll be crying. They'll be crying that government is supposed to pay them this amount of money, but as that has not been paid. So I would say that we expect President Mahama, Ghanaians has given you the mandate, and we know that you are going to do. That's what we trusted onto you. We don't expect excuses. We don't expect coming to government and be like, because of A, B, or C, I will not go after those people who has mismanaged our economy, who has used the economy or the money for their personal gains. We are not, as Renoff said, we don't expect any excuses. Any ways and means, he has been there before, so he knows it. That, oh, when I go this area, I'll be able to get the money. When I go this area, I will not get the money. So we expect him by now to be able to put all these things in place. Yesterday, he said that transition process will begin tomorrow.
All right, so I've been hinted that we have a caller on the line. Let's pick quickly and continue. Hello. Hi, good morning. Sorry, we lost that caller. Please go ahead with your submission.
Yes, I was saying that yesterday, President said transition is going to start tomorrow. And we are hoping that the transition is going to be so peaceful, so at the end of the day, anything that he's supposed to do, he does it, and we have a peaceful Ghana. We are looking for the Ghana that we all want to build together. I think Renoff said one time, so wanted to touch on it. He said, we've given President Mahama an opportunity to rewrite his legacy. We want President Mahama to understand that it is not an opportunity for him to rewrite his legacy. It is an opportunity for him to reset Ghana and to rewrite the legacy of Ghana. It's for him to lift the black so high, but not write his legacy. Because if I'm here to rewrite my legacy, I will do things which is favoring to me, or I lie. I will not do things which is in favor to Clock TV. Exactly. But it's an opportunity for him to rewrite Ghana and make sure Ghana is very high. We have fallen in terms of sport, in terms of so many things. So we are expecting the next government or the next NDC government to make the black star of Africa shine again. That is all what we want from the NDC government.
Exactly. I want us to read some of the things he has promised to do. Then we quickly wrap up on this particular segment. So we have the ban of illegal mining, as he said, and he is saying that he will ban illegal mining and new mining activities in forest. And we have he's saying that he'll lay before Parliament a new bill to streamline government scholarship administration. We know there were issues at the scholarship secretariat where people were given scholarship to people around them or their families. So I think he wants to put down a new bill to streamline government scholarship and prohibit political appointees from accessing government scholarships and eliminate political patronage and nepotism and corruption in awarding government scholarships. I think that's one of the things he can do for the people of government, so everybody can enjoy the scholarship, especially the less privileged students or parents who want the award to attain higher education and they don't have the means able to get access to the scholarship. And he also mentioned he will nominate within the first 14 days the complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval. He also said he will constitute the leanest and most efficient government within the next 90 days. As we said, he said he is doing, or he is working with 60 ministers. And the viability of this promise is what you questioned earlier. He also mentioned that he is going to establish a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials. Apparatchiks, right? Apparatchiks. Yeah, so code of conduct would help streamline some of these people and the ways they go about government businesses. Yeah, then the fourth one is to hold national economic dialogue to discuss the true state of the economy and prepare a homegrown fiscal consolidation program to guide the budget. I think this particular one is very good, and because when you are trying to install trust in the people again, you have to continuously update them on what is happening, what you said you would do, and the timelines to what exactly you want to do, because our country is in shambles and we need quick solutions to some of these things. Let's quickly talk about the vice president and his support to this particular government. You know, she comes from a background of education, and I think she would help with this free senior high school, and even the policy which we are all contemplating whether it's feasible, of students in tertiary institution getting first year free tuition. Yeah. So what say about his vice president and her appointment?
All right. So that is another aspect of a difficulty, which in terms of the vice president, honorable, that is Nana
Opoku-Agyeman, professor.
Yes, professor. She is actually an educationist and coming to manage the economic management team. I mean, from that angle, in terms of coming all the way from the education to the economic, to handle economic matters, is also another thing probably they would have to put in so many measures to guide and then help her. But then coming to the gender aspect, I think it's a very for our development. It's equally a good thing for the country and also for the growth of how we come as a people. Don't forget, the president-elect has 4 years. 4 years will come just in few years to come, especially when we are running a democracy with regards to legal system that we have, where issues or cases stay in there for a very long time before it is adjudged. But then, if the source of funding to fix Ghana or reset Ghana is based on chasing looted monies, before he realized he wouldn't even have enough time person. who are going to be hunted also would have legal presence, which actually takes a lot of, litigations. So they should also factor that in all that they are doing. But then, coming to Professor Jenana Opukwa-Agyeman, in fact, she is a woman that, has been praised in so many ways. We saw her leadership as a leader or in charge of the Cape Coast, University of Cape Coast, coming back also as
the Vice Chancellor.
Of course, where she was the Vice Chancellor. She also had a chance into government as Education Minister. We saw what...
Let's quickly pick a caller. Sorry for cutting you. We'll get back to you. Hello? Hello, good morning. Sorry, we lost her.
Yes, so, well, she has also had a chance as a vice president. She was a vice president during Mohammed's time, right? And, sorry, she was a minister during President Mohammed's period. And coming now to be the vice president is also a huge task because she has a track record. Whatever she did is also coming to actually, help. But then with regards to her role, she being a former education minister, reconciling that with the current educational system, where the current government was doing so many things in terms of transformation or reformation of the education sector. She is supposed to double up equally as a vice president and also almost like education sector, because that's her sector, because there is a free education which is already running, and they have equally given so much promise to reform review the current free education, including adding private sector in terms of private secondary schools to it, which is also a huge task because it also involves money. Because if currently the economy is suffocating due to the free education, as we all know, and then bringing on board other reform structures, including private sector, into the free education, it means, a lot of burden, which will be in the current government. And other aspect also has to do with the free tertiary for the first years. A lot of questions has been asked concerning their sustainability. But then she being an education minister before and doubling up now as the head of economic management, it means every means possible to find money to be able to implement these policies is very crucial to their government. And she being an experienced person in the education sector, it means the onus will lie on her to make sure this system works faster and better than even the president being expected to do. So that is what I can see. But then it's a wonderful privilege for women to equally look up to her and also look at things that, she was going to, there's definitely going to be a project by her to encourage women and also to carry the women along. As, we believe that women are also well known to manage things very well. So it is for her to leverage all that is happening currently, including her age. She is not a younger woman, and there is going to be a lot of movement and a whole lot, which also comes with, health aspect and all that. So, but then, as a vice president, you have no other option than to perform, and also with no other, excuse, given this mandate by the people.
All right, so Randolph is talking about Nana Opukwa-Agyeman's current position and some of the challenges she may encounter. But the fact that she was a then Minister for Education, that's a plus for her to continue the education reforms we currently have in our country. But I want to highlight the fact also that she is the first vice chancellor from in the University of Cape Coast.
First female.
Female vice chancellor, sorry. and she was the first female running presidential candidate from a major political party, and she is currently the first vice president. That's a huge okay, so I've been alerted that we have some images of what really happened during the declaration yesterday by the EC. Okay, so we have the image of Nana Opoku, such a wonderful, smart woman we have there, and she has showed women what people want to push there. Yeah. She has exuded some kind of a leadership for people like me, myself. I want to say that we congratulate her as a woman for being in such a great position in the republic of this nation. You want to talk about her briefly, then
exactly.
The next agenda.
Yesterday, during President Mahama's speech, President said something. President-elect said that Nana, I am quoting him, he said, Nana has been an exemplary and also the eyes of every young girl and woman in Ghana and beyond. And they will all look up to her today. And he said she can't afford to fail such people.
Okay.
So, as Renoff rightly said, as first female vice chancellor, we know what she did for the people of Cape Coast, that's University of Cape Coast, and also I think there was a university in Zimbabwe, that is African Women University, and they recently honored her with a scholarship name that was named after her because of her impact in the education sector.
Wonderful.
In terms of economic management, as Renoff mentioned, the head of economic management team, I think it is something that has been there, but just we realize it more often when the end people was coming to government, when they said the head of economic management team, A, B, C, D, D, at the end of the day, nothing, we didn't see much of them. So we are saying that we are saying that the vice president, yes, she can be there being part of the financial or the economic management, yes, but they can have someone who would foresee everything. Yes, even while she is there. As we rightly mentioned, her capacity or capability, mostly as we've witnessed, has been in the education sector. So we are expecting more from her and also from whoever will be the education minister, because currently there's a lot of issues surrounding our education system in Ghana. So we expect more from her from that angle. I know NDC have a policy known as the Women Development Bank, and I know she would be the brain behind such policy because they want to help women to get easy access to loans, entrepreneurs to be able to come out and work very well, because she has realized the struggle women go through, our mothers go through when you go to those are the coastal areas, always waking up at dawn, even those in Accra, when you go to Makola Market, the struggle they go through. So we are believing and we are telling her that she can't afford to fail Ghanaian women and the women out there. African are looking up to her. So Prof. Nana Opoku Agyeman, we know you can do it. That is why we've brought you. So you can't afford to fail Ghanaians.
She won't fail.
Yes.
I know women come with some barriers, some sort of discriminations and all that, but we trust because we have in the likes of Shirley Ayoko Botre, who is currently the General Secretary of the Commonwealth, and she is doing so well. We have Gertrude Tokuno, who has taken a big position in Ghana, and we know that. So women in position, I know she is capable, but then again, there's argument that the Constitution says that until you are tasked as a vice president, you can't work.
Yes.
Because you have to be tasked
Yes,
by the president. So if you are asked to do nothing, you sit down doing nothing. Yeah, so it depends on what has been given to her. Then we'll see what she has to offer to Ghanaians.
And in fact, Constitution actually makes the vice president a bit useless until you prove yourself worthy to be tasked. And so even though, yes, there is actually a way for you to do or to support your boss. It is you are recognized and also not so much given powers. So unless you are given the power by the boss. So that is how our constitution is well framed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I see there were jubilations since the concession.
Yes.
Yeah, and the people have taken the law into their hands. People are currently facing heartbreaks, but we want to advise Ghanaians that if your brother is having a heartbreak, please go closer to the person.
Exactly. Go closer to the person and give the person
and
cocoa.
speak to the person, because you might not know someone is having a huge challenge who needs a psychologist. but then again, people are celebrating, and people are doing stuff which are not advised as Ghanaians. I know our president is in power, and we have the cause to celebrate, but let's be cautious. Baumia called on Mahama, all his supporters, to order some time back to stop vandalism. You have something to say about that?
Even yesterday, immediately he did that. Adequacy release a press or release a statement that actually stay calm and remain wherever you're supposed to be. And also yesterday, when Chairman was, Asedu Nkete was addressing the supporters at the president of the president at cantonment, he also made mention of that yes, they know they are jubilating, they are trying to, because of jubilating, trying to vandalize things. He also questioned them to stop, because the task ahead of them is more than the jubilation they are going through.
It's serious, because yesterday I witnessed some people, supporters of NDC, they were at the coalition center, and they were asking, they were questioned why they were there actually. Some came from other constituencies, traveled all the way just to see what is happening and all that. And I think it's a good thing to call your supporters to order. What do you have to say about that?
In fact, with some videos I have seen, it's very disgusting and, I mean, irresponsible. We must call them out. It is irresponsible for party members. So
as you can see on the screen, there's some sort of jubilation there.
Yes. You see, we are running a democracy, and we have gotten to a stage as a country that even before electoral commissioner, or within 24 hours, or less than 24 hours of the final ballot cast, and even counting ongoing, we've had a political party, a major political party who is an incumbent government, coming out to say, I have accepted defeat. And I have, given a concession speech. And to the extent that he's been able to call the current or the president-elect to, give him that respect and unity that the country deserves. But then to an extent that amidst that, we still had people going to government properties or state properties, going to vandalize, break things up and down, of we recapturing our position in government. It is highly barbaric, unacceptable, and it is something we should not even tolerate in our 21st century. Because, see, we have a president who, a candidate like a current vice president who gave a concessions, speech. And the reason this man did that was to calm down nerves, to bring down, in fact, tension. Yesterday, there were some NDC people who actually entered the Minister of Communication and Digitalization's office, vandalized things there, stole, her personal properties. After that, they went ahead to actually steal parties' properties, vehicle, motorcycles, and even went to her personal office to break into it, stole some monies that belongs to the honorable minister in the name of my party is now in government. It is something we shouldn't tolerate. Went to Karikari Brobe Park, a recently commissioned, how do I put it, astroturf, to destroy it. Where the whole of Dansuman, there is no any standard astroturf, and there has never been before. But you went ahead there to, destroy the place. A newly commissioned astroturf, about 1 month.
Wow.
You went all the way to, let me put it this way, Shiabu, a newly or 1 week commissioned hospital, to destroy the hospital, break down staff.
What's the reason for doing that?
Because their government is now in power.
They've forgotten their monies were used in building that.
That is why I said it is, it's highly indisciplined, and it is something we have no right to even tolerate this in our democracy. Went all the way, you have the community in which I am talking about is a coastal area, very deprived with a lot of development. The MB using the taxpayers' money to build a hospital for you, and then you go to destroy it because it is not your government that built it. It's another government that built it, and so you've gone to destroy it. It doesn't make sense. To the extent that you went all over to EC office. Is it Damangu or something? There was another issue where
they burnt
a whole EC office. Okay. You also went ahead to, they went all over to, a lot of people, I've heard a couple of people are also dead now. They lost their lives.
Yeah,
also,
there has been some tussles here.
Exactly.
And there.
They went ahead to go to, NADMO office to destroy. Just right now, Ashanti regional correspondents sent me a video that they have gone to, the NDC supporters went to Ahafuano North Municipal Assembly to break down or taking over NADMO office.
How is that possible?
Yes, and this is, it has happened.
You can just give the source so that they
not about, see, we have to be very emphatic. I'm saying, it's a news he has just brought.
That's what I'm saying.
NDC members sat down
so that,
wait, my brother.
Let's make maybe alert.
My brother.
Yes. So that it won't be like, Clock TV has said this, but it's not that. So please.
If you can give us the source.
You for now,
you said so many things I was here. Keep quiet, my brother. You said so.
You are the host.
Wait. You said so many things. I was here. I didn't.
Please, for the sake of our viewers,
I have referred that this is from our own correspondent there, who is on the grounds there. He said the story has just brought his NDC members sat down.
Along the line.
All right.
Let's hold on a bit.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining in. What's your contribution to this conversation?
Okay. My contribution, first of all, good morning.
Good morning.
My contribution is, I think this Ulabalu that is
Please go ahead.
It's quite very, 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 very uncomfortable. See, everybody, even our lives are very, very scared. So I am NDC member. But how our people are taking place and that this is becoming something. One thing I want to ask is that do we have police enforcement or do we have skills? How can somebody buy a new hospital?
Yes.
How can somebody, it's our own money that we use or our tax, So I think your communication and your panelists are doing well. But one thing I also say that though it's quite very, but I don't think I can pay much. And one thing I got to know that because our leader says we came from this revolution, whatever. So, the mama is a very peaceful man. He has a family, you know. He's coming to see the best he can give. But if you start putting this thing into, you know, that means you are rather putting the man into a different direction. If you spoil something, when you have to the same money to go and money that you can use to stabilize the economy, you have to spend that money to repair things that we are. So I think what you guys is very, very nice. I'm on my best watching you guys, which is very good, right?
Yeah.
So I think the message should go out. Though their leaders or our leaders have come out to say something, but still, you know, there are some places that it doesn't come out, right? Yeah. If we all decide to vote massively for a change, and we've done that. Look at the we have now. And yes, but I think I'll end my story here. But I think the security apparatus to do something because it's getting out of hand. Now what they are doing, if the IJS start also, you know, coming in, the soldier will say, I will do food. This one will say, I'll do that. Are we going to be saying, So thank you very much for even listening to me. And
Thank you so much, Nana, and have a wonderful day. Thanks for your contribution.
So let me just wrap up this. You see, so we have gotten to a stage as a country where, in fact, our democracy is growing, and these things should not be tolerated. Yesterday, when you go to airport, do you know over hundreds of NDC supporters went to the airport just to stop people, and they were pulling people out of queue who were traveling.
How?
That they know them to be affiliated to the NPP government. Oh, yesterday, yes, there was news all over. Videos were all on social media. And in fact, someone like Yaira Koku, who is my good friend, I'm surprised that, some of them, they made utterances.
I think people are so much concerned about this particular thing. There's another caller on the line. Let's pick up quickly.
Yeah, it's sure a party made by the government.
Hi, hello. Good morning. Yeah. Please, your name and where you are calling from, please.
Yeah, my name is Jay. I'm calling from Medina.
Okay, please go ahead with your submission.
Yeah, I said what they are saying about the NDC, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that because they can't just stand up and go and sweep property made by a government. Yeah, we need to show about that. Show us the evidence, the videos that showing that they are not proper. You show us the evidence because I'm not sure because they are doing it to play the entity for past, which are not true, which is not true.
All right,
so
thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You shouldn't say what is not true. Just like that to display the people party. Yeah. Right. It's not fair.
Okay. If we have videos, we'll put it on air.
Personally, yesterday, I went all the way to Dansuman because that's part. I live there as well, and I went to Dansuman. In fact, I went to see the place myself. When you go to even the MP's office at Zodiac, the place, there was no one there. They break the gate. They broke the gate.
You took pictures of
my brother. I was there.
So I was there. A picture for evidence sake.
Please. This Ghana Police Service had a press conference yesterday
regarding
that, and they have initiated. The IGP has initiated. You can check. has initiated an investigation into this. You cannot tell me you have no idea about this issue going on.
I have not seen it.
You have, of course, you will not see it. But see, when we keep doing this, 4 years is just around the corner. Another government will come and they will equally do the same thing. Some years ago, toilets were seized by somebody. NDC did the same thing. NPP did the same thing. Should we continue with this mantra as a country? That is the issue there. So just imagine yesterday at airport, people were pulled out of queues. There were videos, there were issues. Everybody is talking about it. Are you telling me because you have not seen it, we shouldn't believe it?
Let's hold on to this. I'm sorry for cutting you, but let's listen to a caller. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, good morning, madam.
Hello, good morning.
Please, how are you doing? Hello, please, how are you doing?
Hello. Good morning to your panel.
Please, good morning. Go ahead.
Please, just to add to what you are discussing. Yeah, we congratulate the president-elect, okay? But we are journalists. So when we are making submission, we should be factual. We shouldn't play favoritism. We are there to educate people. Okay. And the fact is that your other panel is trying to be diplomatic about the issue.
Yes.
But the truth of the matter is, you should go to Sabu. You don't need somebody to give you the evidence for fact. You are a journalist, my brother. If you are not sure, you just tell that, okay, we will check it out. But they are there. We are all happy. But wrong is wrong. Okay. Like I said, emphasizing the public that no, this is not right. If really they are doing that, they should stop. You don't need to be diplomatic about it. You don't like that. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your submission.
Yes. So in fact, Ghana, we are one people, and how our democracy has grown up to, and what has happened in terms of change of government, should let everybody know that power. Getting even a mandate from Ghanaians is not forever. Anything can happen at any time. You can be demoted at any given time. The Ghanaian people give, whenever they wish to. And we have seen the trend should let us know that we are practicing democracy. We are not doing, monarchy, where you will be on it till you die. So irrespective of you gaining power today, should not give you the opportunity to even ransack people. And you see, it got to a stage, previously, people were driving, and then, few years ago, you'll be driving after 7th January, you'll be driving, if you're having a V8, you'll be stopped. And then they assume you have the V8 belongs to government. Should we keep on with this mantra or this track?
No.
These are things we should not be, we should, assuming when they went, the other party also had their people waiting, and then there's blood out there. Whom do we blame? But when people are doing bad, and we are able to tell them what you are doing, they are supposed to know. We have people on Facebook, Yahira Koku and others, Elikem Kotoko. They are all there. They are telling people, go and do this. Stop these people. Some are traveling outside the country, and so stop them. Operation Seize, whatever it is. When you do that, you empower people to be lawless. So Ghana Police Service, yesterday on my Facebook wall, I called on Ghana Police Service that this is not the democracy we have signed up for. Party must go and party must come.
Let's quickly take a call line and we'll get back to the conversation. Hello, good morning.
One about your home to say, let's mark a cheese.
Pacho Flu.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Me kakra apa only partner was so right no. Sir, Oguni say, Elia no correct. When fun one I change it, man. And when you are now to left hand, no, I have the fire. Young kind of press. So we and the gentleman kind of press. We and the gentleman kind of press. And about this stuff, no woman about. Or you are still kind of press. Can it was you are still follow. I did tell you that any your party just and yet, if the young come correct, we are in the correct. None of them now, if it can't grow, not yet because of politics, who can't grow, and yet, who can't grow, who gets in the room. And people in the young old, who know we are young for and OCM himself. And how that happened, I said something to woman. I got a business to work, but it's near yet, and yet, out there, one at the 4 months, and I am over without the loose down.
All right, thank you so much, Edel.
Can I say something
yeah,
about
please
this?
go ahead.
Yeah. So I would say that everything that he is talking about, yes. For example, the mango issue. I have seen the video of the process where the office was being burnt. I have seen a video of where a group of people were locking up a warehouse that has fertilizers and rice in them. I have seen the videos of a collation center where people were dismantling and destroying tables and chairs. But what I want to make it clear to Ghanaians is that in as much as we are jubilating, even as the President Muhammad said yesterday, we should make sure that everything you are destroying, when he
Let me not cut you. Let's pick a caller quickly and get back, okay? Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Please, your name and where you are calling from.
I'm calling from Ghana.
Okay, please go ahead.
Well, everybody in Ghana is hard. President Muhammad said he's going to reset the country. Dr. Baumia did the needful by telling everybody that he knows he has lost less than 24 hours. So I don't see why people are going about transacting people, holding cutlasses, machetes. I mean, we are not in an animal kingdom. The difference between human being and animal is we live at the house. We don't live in the bush. And we don't behave as that. So please, yeah. I wish.
All right, thank you so much, madam. Have a nice day. Sorry.
Yes, so what I was trying to say is that yesterday in Muhammad's speech, he said that everybody who is involved in such activity need to stop it, because if you destroy, let's say, the auditorium, when he comes to office, he's supposed to use the same money for a different agenda to do that same thing. And in as much as you are destroying that very thing too, lives are equally at stake. So we should be very careful in as much as we are jubilated, not to actually destroy properties and also to harm or kill anybody, because we've realized the incident at Ewutu Senya when people was being shot, issue at Damango, fire, and all this kind of instance. So it's not really good for Ghanaians, as President Mohammed said, one people as vice president, also has said, we love Ghana. And because of the political stability, that is why he came out early enough to just concede to President Mahama. He could have hold on to his place for a number of hours until EC comes out to declare. But because of the peace we have in the country, because of political stability, that is why he did that. So in as much as he has done that, I would also say, the last thing I also say on this very matter is that the various constituencies which results are not out, such instances happening is as a result of dispute. It wasn't because Vice President Baumia came out to concede, or it wasn't because EC declared President Mahama as president-elect. Such instances started, even Bawumia came out to concede. It started when there was disagreement in the various collation centers. It started when EC was failing to come out to speak. The issue of Domi Kwabenya destroying, having a fight, it started before Bawumia came out to concede. So the whole going back to the drawing board is that we on grounds, we should do the right thing, because there is no fire without a smoke. That's the truth of the matter.
But we are talking about the celebration and the chaos it's caused.
Yes. So I'm to say that there is no fire without a smoke.
But
so
that
please, I'm coming. Can I come? Right. Please. So there's no fire without a smoke. So in as much as there is a fire, that doesn't mean that you should just watch the fire to continue to burn. You should be able to calm down the fire.
So do you think we should involve our security agencies?
Oh yes, why not? We should. We should allow the security agency to go out there. But you know, yesterday I was telling someone that coming some way for a security to be like he's standing up to go because of how our political landscape has been in Ghana. Because our political landscape has been in Ghana. Ghanaians can testify, say, we will name Bibia, let's abide a bar, and shall be coffee. So everybody,
but it doesn't matter. We need peace at this point in time.
Yeah, so the peace is what we need. Okay. What we're supposed to do? Every constituency has their leaders. Every community has their political leaders. So these people need to stand up and call their people in the other. In as much as President Mahama has called them in the other, President Mahama can't walk all the way from Accra to Takrady or to Dansuman to call them in other.
So you are saying the MPs and...
Yes, the MPs elect the parliamentary candidates, the constituency chairman of all the political parties
should
need to involve themselves and solve the issue once and for all.
Okay. What do you have to say in some seconds?
Quickly on that, you see, EC has done so well. We must acknowledge the effort they are putting in. But then I have had a chance to work with EC before, and this is the situation. When you go to the collation center, both parties have reps there. And so if both parties have reps at the collation center, you get it. And then people come there, our party faithful comes there, and they come to enter into where the EC restricted or the security has restricted people from entering, and they get in there to cause mayhem. How do you expect the EC?
So what's the way forward?
The way forward is that it's all in the hands of the political parties to restrain their followers.
Just like he said.
Yes, because if the political parties do not restrain their followers, the EC will keep delaying it because they cannot collect and put figures and other stuff together amidst chaos. That cannot be their responsibility.
Okay. So let's pick a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue and wrap up.